Aloha, Brother Barack. As a brother, I'm not some haole. As a brother, I was brought up here in the hood, man. I thought about this when I was putting this together. I want you to go back to your roots right here. Where I am standing right now is in the very heart of the hood, okay? We have the blackest neighborhood from here all the way to Oakland. And if you were to go through the northern sector, I guess you'd have to go clear around the earth and come back clear up to San Diego. When you head east, maybe St. Paul until you get to Chicago. That's how much of the hood I'm in right now. And I want people to understand the hood isn't full of black people. The hood is full of a bunch of broke fools, a bunch of broke good people, a bunch of disabled people, a bunch of immigrants, a bunch of all sorts of people, and a whole bunch of kids that didn't ask to be there. See, I am from the hood. I am. Hey, right now, get your mind focused. You got that round spool like Eric Foreman has in his basement. You're sitting there, and we're going to sit here and smoke some weed. We're going to smoke some weed. You kick back, and you start thinking. I'm going to try to approach you in the respect of Clark Clifford did to Lyndon Johnson. When Johnson, it was said that McNamara had Johnson in his pocket. Now, as you can see, I'm a numbers cruncher kind of guy, so I'm more McNamara in a lot of respects. I really love the fog of war, and I like the fact that McNamara confessed that he was a war criminal, unlike a lot of other people. So let's give it to you. I'm going to do my best to be as straight up as Clifford is with you. That's why I wanted to do this whole Brother Barack thing. I don't see you as a president. I see you as a brother. You're up there with Al-Haj Malik Shabazz, man. You know? Yeah. Literally. Maybe even a step beyond. So at any rate, your constituents, brother. This is your report card. Your constituents, we just talked about it inside Light Rail Transit. You're leaving them in the rain. There wasn't 20 jobs for those brothers in the hood. Now you're giving this money to this woman named Christina Gregoire, governor. She's a Democrat. You hired Brother Ron Sims to come up there and be assistant HUD secretary, even though the people here in Washington State can't stand him. Definitely the people on the east side. They really can't stand him over there. I'm talking about the east side of King County, okay? Yeah, you're in bed with these people that are actually letting you down on the state front. You're dogging your constituents. It's like you forgot about them. People in prison, the numbers are still going up. Violence is going up. Walla Walla's in a lockdown right now. What have you done? In the acts of providence, I not only help you get those people out of prison, I save you some money and we rethink everything. What have you done for these people? Illegal immigration, I want to give you the George Wallace example. George Wallace was a registered member of the NAACP. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know he ran for black rights, for Afro-American rights. And he lost because they weren't allowed to vote. Illegal immigrants aren't the ones casting the vote for you, Mr. President. It's every legal American that casts the vote. You think about that. And to Homeland Security's credit, again, they have been doing a marvelous job about this. And as you've seen in TAP, if you bothered to look, there are definitely illegal immigration solutions. Very aggressive, well-financed solutions. Sustainable economy. You're borrowing from everybody. You're borrowing from the Chinese. You're borrowing from the little kids. You're borrowing from the old man. You're borrowing from old crippled people that paid their taxes all their lives and lost their legs in the war or something. You're borrowing from everybody and you're hitting them everywhere they go. At the store, etc. You cannot sustain that. As a brother, man, you cannot sustain that. It's like some jive turkey. Hey, man, you got $1, man. All it is a Ponzi scheme at a government, national, international level. Robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And part of your problem is your accountability. You have none. Your numbers are as phony as they come. They're just as bad as can be, and despite all your hoo-ha, and even though the acts of providence delivers you armies of accountants, the mandates send the money to take care of business. You're not taking care of business. It's like you're sitting there loading on the couch going, yeah, I'll get to it, man. I'll get to it. Okay, Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo, wherever in the world you have these people at the moment. Try sending them to The Hague. It is the world court for war crimes. I understand Russia and America do not subscribe. Maybe it's time they did. Healthcare. Mental health chews up $64 billion minimum in just pills every year. Apply that to 8 years, you got 480 plus 32, $512 billion over a period of an 8-year term of your healthcare package. $512 billion when that package was going for what? $880 billion. They chew up over half your healthcare dollars. And you got another problem right here too. And mind you, beyond healthcare, mental health being a total fraud. You have the supplies. AdvaMed controls 80 to 90%, 70%. At one time on their website, they said they controlled 90% of America's medical supplies. There's a monopoly there. There's a reason why surgical hosing is costing so much. This is the things you're always jumping on the lawyers. You're jumping on the hospitals for charging too much. They're charging too much to administer this, to administer that. They're being gouged, and no one's talking about the healthcare supplies. This is a monopoly. It's antitrust, anti-corporate. It needs to be broken up. Once you create open market, diversity, you create competition, and that competition drives down the cost of things. There was a time here in America when AT&T was 43 cents a minute to talk on the phone. But for a $100 bill here in America, under socialism, up there in Canada, the way they had their stuff going, that same bill was over $480. So you break this up, like Reagan and AT&T basically broke up themselves, and if you have to do it twice, you do it twice. You get it diverse, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to save a lot of money in healthcare. You get rid of mental health care, and you've just saved over 50% of your dollars. Disaster readiness, you're not ready. Now, as you well know, on your desk at this point is something that really tells you how to be ready for disasters. It's something, well, we won't get into it. Basically, the money and the mandates are there. Massive jobs, all in the acts of providence. It's there for you. But right now, you are not even close to prepared for when California gets hit in May of 2012. I didn't say December, folks. I said May. That's right, and the president has it on his desk. Light rail transit. We just went through this again. You're leaving your people in the dark. You're literally leaving them in the streets in the pouring down rain so you can force it down their throats. Well, they can't catch the bus, so they got to take their walker and walk back another mile, back up to light rail, and maybe when light rail comes around to getting around, and they can use, in our particular case, their ORCA card at God knows exorbitant rates, definitely not what it costs to get on a bus, then, you know, you're dogging them. Mr. President, you're dogging them. And you slighted him too. You didn't even tell him about how you were going to back him on the butt end of everything through the states to make up the difference. You're offering $600 million for Washington, one of your, it seems, pet projects, where you're going to slam him with at least $24 billion in additional taxes. Atomic energy. Oh, Mr. President, why would you want to be French? This is something that's going to get your soul. In the acts of providence, there's a cleaning up atomic disasters. Plenty of money for Oak Ridge. Plenty of money for Hanford. It's a priority. And by the time you build one atomic energy plant, you could have built enough solar panels in the state of Arizona, New Mexico, and all those places, Nevada and Utah and Texas. Certainly Eastern California too, Eastern Oregon, Eastern Washington, to have enough solar energy to supply the country. By the time you got one of them plants built. And the solar would have been renewable. The solar wouldn't have poisoned the environment. That's why you're over there spending $2.2 billion to clean up Hanford right now, and you're only supposedly creating 1,487.1 jobs, was it? At $737.99 per hour? Where's that money really going to? Oh, they're converting the energy into glass? That ought to be something for some people to come across in the future. Okay, because it's going to run a little long, let's cut it right here, and then we'll be right back with part 2 to finish this off.